Good evening, plebeians, and welcome to your Friday night edition of RCM on Tap, your 60-ish minute roundtable discussion show where we go behind the scenes at RivalCast Media and get to know the different bloggers, the different streamers, the different everybody who creates all the awesome content that you consume on the internet. Every day. And today, I have a very, very special guest coming all the way from Finland. This is Juho, who does the 8-Bit Menu blog on 8bitmenu.com. It's a fantastic little thing where he goes and pulls recipes from different popular video games, recreates them in real-world ingredients, and the results are amazing. So, Juho, welcome to the show.
Hi there.
So let's start off. Let's talk a little bit about your project, because this is kind of interesting. Just being I wouldn't even call myself a casual gamer. I refer to myself as a baby gamer. I like watching other people play, but I don't really play a whole lot myself. But one of the things that got me really fascinated, and part of what got me started looking at your blog in the first place, was in Skyrim in particular. There was a video that was done several years ago where somebody actually went through, in Skyrim you have these different books that you can actually read throughout the game. And they figured out that some of them were cookbooks and figured out how to go in. They found the Gourmet's cookbook in particular and started recreating recipes based on what they found in those books. And I went through their videos and I tried those recipes and it was amazing. So tell me about, how did you get started with writing this blog? Because this is just fascinating to me that people actually go through and figure out what real-world ingredients would be for these different video game recipes. Tell me about this.
You want the whole story?
Sure.
Like, how did I begin the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Why
not? That's quite a bit of time ago. I think my first creation ever of like a video game food was from a game called Arx Fatalis, and it was the apple pie, and I think I was like 16 or 17 when I tried it.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to, there was can we edit this out? I already stumbled upon my own words.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So, anyway, the first recipe that I created was from Arx Fatalis. It was the apple pie, and I think I was 16 to 17 years old. And now that I have this skill, or more skill, and the proper tools to do the recipes, I decided, I would start doing it again and bring it to people to show off. Well, show off, that's not a proper word, but...
No, you can show off. It's okay to show off.
Yeah, it's okay to show off.
Anyways, and I especially now, how was it? 2 years ago? No. Something like that. I was unemployed for a long time, so I had a ton of time in my hands. So I thought, I might as well learn new things while sitting on my ass, basically. So I started my own tiny first blog in WordPress, and then started to work on the idea more and more. And recently I have started to really take it seriously and pay attention to the foods that I make. Like the first recipe, it was just pretty much thrown there on the blog and didn't really have that much, or wasn't paying that much attention to how it turned out. But and I like the way that I can now see how I have improved my skills as a photographer, blogger, writer, all that stuff. I like that feeling that I get from that blog and creating it.
Absolutely, and you do a fantastic job with it too. Because I think, we were talking about this pre-show like a few weeks ago when you and I were talking, and when I first read your blog, until I actually spoke with you, I had no idea that English wasn't your first language, because it was just so, I mean, you
Indeed,
did such a good job with it. So, definitely doing a good job with that. So, how long does it take you when you find like a new recipe? So you're going through, you're playing a game, a character comes across some sort of food, and you're like, huh, that sounds like something I want to eat. How long does it take you to kind of go through and figure out what would these ingredients be? Because obviously you're not going down to the local supermarket and buying dragon's nails or witch's powder or something like that. I mean,
or is he? You don't know.
I don't want to make assumptions.
It's Europe. They
there.
can have all sorts of awesome stores that we don't have.
You make a good point. I couldn't even buy Snapple this morning, so but. Yeah, I mean, how I mean, obviously it would take different times for different projects, but like on average, like what is it? How long does it take to figure that out?
Now I've been keeping up the pace really well, so I've been making about one recipe per week.
Okay.
And especially now that I'm at school, so I spend the week when I'm at school planning for the recipes, and after that, on the weekends, I actually try to do them. So it's about a week.
Okay.
Awesome. God. Skype.
Damn you,
This happens from time
Skype.
to time. It's
Yeah.
Skype, but it's all good.
Just click the camera thing.
What was it? Okay, I'm back. Yay! You're almost back. There we go.
Yay.
There we go.
We'll get Killer back in a second.
So I just have to point out we're cutting this section out, correct? Just
No.
right quick. Okay, then that's fine. No, then I'll continue. If you look, so you were talking about kind of mastering your photography of your end result and such. So I'm looking at a chocolate mint cookie inspired by Guild Wars 2, and it just looks amazing. Like you have the picture of the icon within the game there, and then you kind of have your finished product kind of turned the same way, and it looks good. It's like I want to reach through the screen and just be like, yes, I will have one.
Thanks. I wasn't still all that happy with the topping, the whipped mint topping, because
Right.
it's not just perfect, but it's close enough. I called it a day because I didn't have any more patience. I ended up doing that recipe like I can't remember how many times, because there is a ton of things that are behind the scene that you can't see. Like in the past 2 weeks, I have I have made 2 cakes, 7 loaves of bread,
Oh wow.
2 sets of ribs, something else. I can't even remember
I'm getting
anymore.
hungry now.
I know, right?
That takes a while too with making bread, because there's a kind of a sitting time if you, especially if there's yeast in it, to let it kind of rise up and then punch it back down and let it rise up again,
It's my
depending
favorite part.
on what type you're making. So that's a lot of time to make 8 loaves
Yeah,
of bread and then 2 cakes.
The whole baking or making usually takes at least 1 day. I have
Right.
that I just do the recipe or try to get it right, and I usually end up trying maybe 2 or 3 times if it's something short. But if it's like a bread, well 2 times I think is enough for 1 day before I go mental or something.
So, I mean, you've done a lot of stuff over the last few years. Just going through, you've done a lot of the recipes for The Sims. You've done lots of things for Skyrim. And I can imagine, like, some things would probably be, very similar to foods that you're used to, and some of them would be, like, completely just, I have no idea how this should turn out. But of the recipes you've done so far, I mean, what has been, like, the one that stands out as being, like, your most challenging?
Ooh, good question.
Challenging. There are so many. Hard to pick. Well, breads and mainly all the breads that I've baked are difficult because I'm not a good baker, or it takes so long time to get it just right.
Mm-hmm.
So like for example, those 7 loaves of bread that I made, they were mushroom bread from Starbound.
Mm-hmm.
And now they are in the backyard as a bird feed. Okay, I ate some of them, but I can't eat all that amount. So I thought that I'll take a new way of thinking and just try the recipe 1 or 2 times. If it doesn't work, I'll leave it there and think about it and move on to something else and then come back to it later, because I don't want that kind of a situation again, that I have one garbage bag full of bread.
Right.
Right. This is kind of cool too. So I'm just going through recipes. I've been through them all before. I'm just looking at them again. But so you have like trail rations from Pathfinder.
Mm-hmm.
Little pen and paper action. That's really cool.
Yes, that recipe. I was planning on revisiting it, and I just need that. I think it's called pink salt in the US.
I
with
think I know
the
what you're talking
chemical
about.
that keeps it red, that I would make it actually from pork meat and make it even look more better, like in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of my early recipes, and back then I was playing actually Finder with a group, so
Gotcha.
I got my inspiration from there. And it was actually quite nice to have something like that. Yes, I remember I gave that as a gift for my friend, who was the keeper of the game, or
Right.
because he, I think it was his birthday or something. Can't remember all that well.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I like how, like, the way that you have the blog laid out. I mean, people who are fans of a specific game can click directly onto the game title and see all of the recipes that you pulled from that game, which has given us some ideas for our upcoming RivalCon next summer. Which actually I can say because we haven't, at the time of this recording, we haven't officially announced that date, but by the time it airs, they will know. So it's July 21st through the 23rd of 2017, right here in Cleveland. But we were talking about, like, different things that we could bring to it and what did people want. And one of the ideas that I had was actually inspired by your blog, is making some of these recipes that you came up with for the different games that are most, like, beloved in the community. Because you've got things in here like, you know, the Delaran brownies from World of Warcraft. We actually have a channel specifically in our TeamSpeak server for the Warcraft nerds, which Killers abandoned us in the other room to go and hang out with.
I know what you're
all the
talking
time.
about.
You have a
I know
problem.
what you're talking about.
You have a problem is what I'm talking about.
No, I don't have a problem. Don't have a problem, man.
But I get so excited because, yeah, can go in, get some Sims 4 action going on here, which I might be doing later on today. So, let's talk more about your behind the scenes stuff too. So, you know, you got into this obviously, you know, because you like cooking, but you like games too. And you do a lot of different gaming. So, let's talk a little bit, you know, what sort of games do you like to play?
Oh, yes, mainly games that are slow paced, or games that where you can go on your own pace, like Fallout, the new Fallouts, and Skyrim, Morrowind, those kind of games that are easygoing, and also crafting games, and of course nostalgic ones. But mainly, yes, fantasy-based games.
Okay.
Although on weekends I mostly play first-person shooters, like Battlefield, for example. But yeah, those games are my kind of games, and I should probably say that I should start again. I haven't played anything. Well, I have been playing Armed Assault lately, but I should start playing those crafting games because I noticed that I have lost some of my inspiration. I can't come up with new recipes so easily
Gotcha.
anymore. So I think I will devote the next week mainly for gaming, not so much of making recipes, because I don't have any ideas almost. Well, I have some ideas, but I need the inspiration.
I like it. I like it. So I know, tell me about, of those games, what is your most favorite?
Most favorite game? That's a tricky
Yep.
one.
It is.
I like to spring it on people on their first time because they're always like, "Oh, but I've got like 6 of them. Let's talk about them all," which we're cool with.
I might go with I read this comment from internet that if you would have to go on a desert island and you would have to pick only one game, what game that would be? And his answer was Adam, Ancient Domains of Mystery. It's the... Never heard?
I haven't.
No.
Mm.
It's made with letters and numbers, that you... It's kind of difficult. You should probably Google it because I'm really crappy at explaining this, how it's made.
Interesting.
But I never finished that game. I never even gotten halfway through because I always end up dying in some obscure or strange ways.
I can relate to that. I habitually fall off the map on games where you're not supposed to be able to fall off the map. So, I mean, I understand how that goes. Oh. Hang on. We lost you for a second. Oh, there you go.
But maybe my the game that I like the most is probably Morrowind. Mostly because of the nostalgic value. I remember my big brother telling me stories about this game even before I played it. And it has a lot of memories in it, let's say.
Nice.
Yeah. Good times.
I forget. I know somebody on staff played Morrowinds before, but I don't remember.
Yeah, that's a good. I think it might have been D. Was it D?
Well, yeah. Well, D plays everything. I mean,
That's
if you
true,
look
he
at
does
his,
play it.
he owns essentially everything that Steam has because Bubba makes him buy it. So, if nothing else, he at least has it in his library. But yeah, I thought there was somebody else though too, but
Could have been Vyar then.
maybe. You're right though. I know D did.
Yeah.
So, awesome. All right. I'm trying to think if there were any other specific questions I had about the blog, which if you haven't seen it, it's 8bitmenu.com, 8 with the number 8, bitmenu.com. It's fantastic, and you should definitely go check it out.
I'm looking at Fruit Leathers.
We've completely lost Bio. He's not going to say anything for the rest of the show because
I've been saying things.
you've been
I'm
saying
reading.
things. That's true, but we're going to be talking about other questions, and you're just going to be like, "That looks delicious."
Like, we didn't mention a food question. I know, but this looks delicious.
You actually put effort into the cooking things, though, unlike certain other members of our panel. Killer.
Wow.
I guess that jerky I'm going to make for RivalCon's not going to get to you then. That's right, I went there.
And at that moment, she realized I've made a horrible mistake.
Yeah, I kind of did. Just a little bit there. A little bit there. That's all right. We'll have plenty of opportunities in between times where you're going to say something to piss me off, and then the jerky will be offered as a.
No.
RivalCast Media, for the only place in the world where your olive branch is made of meat. All right. Well, before we delve into the hat, Juho, did you have any questions for us? We're trying to make a point to actually, answer questions that people have too.
Yes, I was thinking today, like, do I have anything to ask from you? But couldn't really come up with a lot of stuff. And one was that who and how did somebody find my blog anyways? Still so young and fresh, so it's kind of...
Actually, I found
That was
it.
bio.
Yeah,
That
I
was
found the
bio.
blog. It had been, I think, the right place at the right time. I believe the Guild Wars 2 account had retweeted. Let me see which one. I remember. I think it was the stuffed zucchini that you had made.
Ah, yes, that one.
Yes, I was just like, that looks good, so I'm gonna click this. And then I looked and said, wait, this is a whole blog about this. So I had to send it to Baroness and say, you have to check this out as well.
That's true.
And at that point, she said, we need to get him on the show.
Yep.
Exactly.
Takes
We
a little
must
while.
talk to this person.
It takes a little while to get from the initial, like, we found somebody cool stage to working out the how do we track this person down and get them on and schedule them and all that. But so the slightly more general answer to the question, and I we should talk about this stuff because I don't think most people realize it, but so we actually have a whole team at RivalCast that actively looks for creative talent that aren't as well known on the internet. I mean, it's, you know, we just go and we find people that we like and we kind of watch them for a while, and, you know, whether it's writing or streaming or what have you, you know, just kind of keeping an eye on, you know, where they're going with stuff. Are they consistent with, you know, with the stuff that they're putting up? Because there's a lot of things that you find it's like, oh, that's really, really cool, but then they only do like 2 things and then they're done. And so it's a process. It might take a few months before, you know, we get through the vetting process and, you know, find the contacts and start making those connections. And then, you know, by the time like you and I start actually talking, 2 months ago, roughly, when I made the pitch to go on tap. And then, you know, now it's, as of today, it's the end of September. The thing will air in the end of October. And, you know, there's a whole timeline for how that works out. But, yeah.
Yes, we watch you very closely. By the way, you need to take out the trash in the kitchen. No.
I did that right before Show Killer. God.
No, I'm talking to our guest. We watch him carefully.
Oh, that one. Forgot about that.
Like, well,
We weren't supposed to tell him that.
Well, for all our contacts in NSA, I mean, we have to.
So that was a good question, though. I like that. Well, if you think of anything else, be sure to just break into conversation, because otherwise we're going to the Magic Hat for a little bit.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
uh-oh.
See?
No.
Yeah.
All right. So context
question.
question first. Are you aware of what the Miss America pageant is?
Oh, no.
Who?
All right. So in the United States, we have this fascination with celebrity. And one of the things that we have is this
Where is Ja?
this beauty pageant in Atlantic City called the Miss America pageant, which is a joke. But basically each of the 50 states and Puerto Rico send their contestants for their state to compete in a variety of different competitions. So there's a talent competition, there's a swimsuit, at least there used to be a swimsuit competition, there might not be anymore.
That's not
there's
okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're it's the 21st century. I mean, the fact that this thing still exists is kind of amazing to me. But they have these different categories, and you know, they ask them political questions. You know, where's your stance on this issue, and they have to, you know, give an answer off the top of their heads. You know, to show that they're not just beauty queens. They have, you know, some substance too.
World
But-
peace!
So
It's always world peace. #1 answer.
yeah, world peace, and
For the children.
and Snuggle the Children, and I Love Animals. Those are, I mean, if you
Muggle?
can
Did you say smuggle?
snuggle, hug.
I'm thinking smuggle. Yeah, you would do that.
Well, I
Alright.
don't have much to say about that, but
All right, so but
Okay, well, here's the question.
the
though.
question.
That's
So
the
there's your
context.
context. You know, this is a beauty pageant that is just funny. But if you were in the Miss America talent competition, what would your talent be? We're not gonna put you on the spot, Killer. What would your talent be in the? We'll call this is. I actually have a note in there, the gender neutral Miss America competition, because again, 21st
Just in
century,
case,
we're
yes.
not excluding men from this, you know. So what would your
Ms.
Mr. America?
Mr. America.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that.
Wow.
Let's see, what would be my talent? Certainly not going to be my baking skills.
I would applaud you if you showed up with an empty casserole dish to your
I
Mr.
thought about
America
doing that. That'd be
competition, though.
hilarious. Like, here's my dish. There's nothing in it. Exactly.
We've done that before.
I have. I guess talent would have to be something involving firearms somehow.
That's dangerous as hell, Killer.
What are you talking
Little
about?
bit.
I'm just. You're in the middle of a crowded auditorium. It's time
Yeah.
for your talent competition.
Yeah. Although I watched this video, there was a Russian shooter, and they actually did it where he would shoot at different plates. That shooting the plates would make a certain note. And he actually was playing different songs with in the accompaniment and singers.
So what I'm
That's what
hearing,
Okay.
what I'm hearing is
Well.
you have a challenge now.
We have a challenge.
I like that. Learn how to play musical songs by shooting plates at different pitches.
Yes.
Do it, Killer. I
I'll get
believe
right
in you.
on that.
I believe in you. All right, Bio. What would your Mr. America talent?
Dodging questions.
I think you
That
just
is
won the
true.
competition.
I think
with
he
that.
did.
He's so good. He got more than the top score. This is
Like
amazing.
the very end, they'll be like, "Wait, he didn't even answer the question." I knew.
I don't know.
All right, Miss America, what's your talent gonna be?
See, that's a tough one because I mean, I generally just write things, and that would be a little difficult to do. I mean, people just sitting there watching me sit there scribbling things on a notepad for however long it takes me to write something. It would be, I don't know, I think I would be the most boring Miss America contestant ever. Come out for the swimsuit competition, everyone else is in bikinis, I'm just like sitting there in a t-shirt and shorts and...
With the umbrella.
With the umbrella
Beach
and my
umbrella.
hat, you know, a lot of sunscreen on, you know. I'd be a horrible beauty queen pageant contestant. I don't know, I could craft hats.
There you go, crafting hats.
I would craft tiny ones and put them on chickens.
Craft for each one for the judges.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that might be considered bribery, but it's the
No,
Miss
no, no,
America
no.
pageant,
Depends.
so I mean,
Depends.
you know that stuff's rigged anyway. I mean,
Yeah. Anywho.
well, I don't know about mine, but it might be some Finnish to chuck down. I don't know how much is a gallon. How much? I don't know, but 2 gallons of beer.
Ah, there you go. I approve of that.
all right. So what I'm hearing now is that Bio has some actual competition for the talent portion of the pageant. So I don't know. He is the best at dodging questions, but I like beer, so that works out.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one. I like that.
Oh wow, the hat actually spit a question out. I guess we're going with that one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. So, what gaming systems did you have as a child?
Let's see. No, I had an Atari, Nintendo, Super NES, N64, Xbox, Race, that's childhood, and then PC, of course. Master Race.
Had to do it.
Hey,
We had, so it's kind of like, I'm trying to remember what each, because my parents divorced when I was very small, so we had the stuff that was at my dad's house, and then we didn't, like, my mom didn't like video games all that much, so we didn't have a lot there growing up. But so before that, we had the Atari. My dad got the Super NES, because when we would go over, that would be what my brother and sister would play constantly. Like, Zombies Ate My Neighbors was the go-to game. So, they liked that, and they liked Yoshi. I didn't really play console, though. I had, because we had he had a laptop, too, and I would play, like, the old, like, Tetris and Pac-Man and those sorts of things on the laptop from time to time when I wasn't building stuff with Legos. But so we had those. Later on, we had a Sega Genesis, like the first model of it. And then we had one of the original PlayStations too, because I would use that to play Spyro the Dragon. And that's pretty much. I mean, we eventually had like a PC at home, so we would play that a little bit too, and that's what got me on like SimCity and those games, but we didn't really play a whole lot growing up.
Bio.
I mean, I just had a Nintendo and a Genesis when I was young. So that was it. I think my grandfather had the Atari and Commodore 64 at his place, but that's it.
Wow, that was boring.
I figured my answer would be boring for this question.
Terrible.
What about you?
My first one was, I think it was the Nintendo, the, what is it, 8-bit? Like my blog says, 8-bit menu. Comes from that one. And after that I moved into computers. I can't remember, I just, like, what kind of computer it was. I just remember it was Pentium. And I had the kind of similar situation like Jen, that my parents were divorced. So I had the gaming systems all then in my mother's place, and when I would go to my father's place, I would basically play with pine cones because he didn't have anything.
Oh.
That's
well.
fantastic.
Well, at least I think I learned something from pine cones, being creative.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Indeed.
yeah.
Exactly. It's other things like, you know, we spent a lot of time with our grandparents too, and it's like, you know, the one set lived, because where I lived in Pennsylvania we were in the mountains, and so like my one set of grandparents lived on top of a mountain, and then the other ones lived in one of the valleys, and so there's, you know, tons of woods around, and so we spent hours and hours with our cousins in the summertime, just, you know, going through all the trails and, you know, playing in the forest and, you know, losing our New York cousins in the woods, and, you know, it was a great time. So I like being outside. Even now I like being outside in the woods, running around. It's, you know, Bio, even after stacking the hat with those extra questions, we still have yet to pull the guest's choice. I noticed as I pulled this one out because I was like, is it? No, it's not. All right. The next question from the hat. What show or book would you like to see translated into a video game?
Show or book?
Oh, that's a good one.
I think it's a terrible idea. They usually end up crappy.
That was kind of
Yeah.
my thought as
Yeah,
well.
that is true.
Just thinking like, oh, do I really want to ruin a good thing
Okay,
potentially?
let's do the basis that the game would actually be good.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be.
What would be
Doesn't have to be
like
like.
what would be a fun thing to play? I guess. Because now, okay, so my mind has just gone off on some completely random, weird tangents. Because the first thing I thought of was, maybe if they made Jim Butcher series into a video game where you got to play as Harry Dresden and go around fighting vampires, and then it naturally progressed to, what would be some completely off-the-wall books that they could try to make a video game from, and what would it be like? And, of course, because it's getting to that time of year where I start rereading Gone with the Wind again. It's like, what would a Scarlett O'Hara video game be like? Would you go around trying to stop Atlanta from burning? I mean, how would that work out?
I don't think it works out.
You have to go chasing Red around for a while? I don't know. I
don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
Pretty much. I always imagine them in 8-bit style, too. So it's like she's like this little blocky, like with huge skirts, like just running around Atlanta. I don't know.
That's terrible.
So it's not exactly what I would like to see translated to a video game, but now my mind is just, I'm going to be thinking about this for the rest of the afternoon.
You know what?
What are some other ridiculous
you could
things?
probably do it. It could be one of those Telltale games.
Yes.
Telltale?
Yeah, that one. You could make that work. Probably, maybe, possibly.
I'm trying to think of most ridiculous ones I could possibly do. Anyway, while my mind is off there, Bio. What are you thinking?
I can't even think of anything.
Really?
I really can't.
Nothing. Not even a decent Star Trek game. No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I don't know why, but I would maybe go with, because it just popped into my head, the first thing that popped into my head was, what was it? Battlestar Galactica, the old one.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
I think they tried to make a game, but I think it fell through. That would be... Wait, are we talking about the original series or the 2000 series?
The original.
That'd be kind of cool, I'd have to admit.
Yeah, I think the thing you're talking about, Killer, was they made it was a web game.
Oh, was it a web game?
That was based on the new
series
reboot. And I don't know, it may still be going. I don't know. It tried to be kind of an MMO type game.
I don't know.
Trying to see if there's any novels on my bookshelf that I could...
It's still around. I don't know if people are playing it.
All I've got on my bookshelf down here are ghost stories, math textbooks, and The Diary of Anne Frank, which I think would be the most offensive video game ever.
Christ.
Those would not be good choices.
No, that would not. Oh, that's terrible.
I don't have a lot of fiction down here. I'm trying to think of what I even have upstairs.
Although, for my choice, your idea for Jim, the Dresden Files game series, that would be kind of cool. I think it'd be cooler. You didn't play Dresden, you play, another of the wizards.
An apprentice of Dresden? Yes.
No, because that would be Molly.
Not necessarily.
Well, he doesn't have any apprentice right now, and he won't have for a while if he kept up with the series.
Yeah, I haven't read any of his books. I have not read any of them yet. No, I have not.
Oh dear God, woman, you're killing me.
No, we had this conversation before.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I know that if I start to read them, I'm not going to want to put them down until I get finished. And he's got like what, 12
15,
and 15?
No, about 15 or 16.
Yeah, and in one series alone.
Yeah.
So that would mean that I cease all productive anything for at least a year. Because I'm just going to be going through them and going through them and going through them.
It'd only be like 16 days.
Killer.
You read a book a day.
you're forgetting that I get interrupted constantly to do other things. So it would, I mean, I would probably be a hermit then, and everything would crumble from the inside. Like, where did Jen go? I haven't seen her in like 3 weeks. And I come like staggering out of the basement. My eyes are all bloodshot. You know, I've lost 15 pounds because I just stopped
Your
eating
arms are
because I didn't
for a
want
minute
to.
stuck like this. They can't move.
Vampires. We
Alright,
must stop
so-
the white court and the red court. Ah!
Anywho, I think I'm not gonna go with that though because it's too obvious. I actually would like to see a faithful adaptation of Starship Troopers.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, mechanics-wise, it'd be perfect because you're in power armor. You don't run around; you bounce around. You fight different type of aliens, and the sequence of dropping on a planet would be freaking amazing.
The game physics would be worth doing. I like
Huh?
this.
Huh?
I like this.
I remember playing the movie adaptation of the game.
Yeah.
Yes, the game from that movie. I was
The movie has nothing to do
quite
with the book.
disappointed. Yeah, I know. I made some research and no.
Yeah.
We did that as a community movie one night, and I remember because I'd never seen the movie. I'd seen like little clips from it, but because it's Killer loves the book, and he was
I
going
love
on
the
about
book.
how much he loved the book, and then we're watching the movie. I was like, Killer, really? And he's like, don't. No, this is completely separate.
This
Like,
is-
don't just read the book. It's nothing like this whatsoever.
They could have named that something completely different. No, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But of course, it had to
They
be named.
didn't they plan to? Well, it was first supposed to be named something different, but then they noticed that how many similarities there were, so they just called it that.
They
At
might
least
have. I don't
reading.
remember.
All I know is that chick from Saved by the Bell was in it, and she was really, really crabby, and yeah.
Of course, she was.
I was actually like cheering when the aliens were eating people. I mean, they kind of had it coming.
Damn bugs.
You know that a movie is not that great when you're actively rooting for the bad guys to kill off the protagonists as quickly as possible.
Well, it's not a good movie, but it could be a fun movie. There's a
Yeah,
difference.
well, yeah, it was fun. It was fun, especially when you're sitting around drinking and watching it with friends who are actively mocking it along with you.
That is
but-
true. That is
yeah.
true.
So that's a good side question. What is your favorite really bad movie that you just watch, not because it's a good movie, but because it is so terrible that you just love hanging out and watching it with friends?
The Wizard of Gore.
The Wizard of Gore?
I don't think I've heard that one.
Tell me
It's
about this
an-
movie.
I can't remember much because that is the kind of movie that you just get the and just watch it. I think it was, and the whole plot was just, it was impossible to follow because apparently this magician, I think he hypnotized the audience to think that the show was unreal, but for real he was killing the actors that he was calling to test the eye can. It just had a lot of blood and guts in it, and a
Ew.
wizard who was actually a magician, and lots of other things didn't make us a lot of sense about it. It was a really, really crummy movie.
So it's one of those films where you actually have to be drinking in order to get through. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
but that was an easy question.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm trying to think of one.
I would go with pretty much any 80s action movie.
Oh, come on. Any?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
Pretty much.
fine.
But the thing is that I actually like these exploitation movies and all sorts of weird, old, crappy movies.
I'm trying to think of one. The guilty pleasure. I can't think of it.
Demolition Man's dialogue was amazing.
That is a pretty good bad movie. Oh god, the character name's John Spartan. Like really, most like generic tough guy action movie name ever.
Now I know that you're going to get upset by this, Killer, but when we were watching Delta Force, I mean, really?
Well, you know what?
There's so many inconsistencies with that, and it's just like,
what's
what
an
the
80s
hell?
Now, hold on now. Hold on now.
It was fun, don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
oh my god.
Everyone shoots from the hip, and they magically hit everything. Yeah, I know.
Chuck Norris just magically appears on the other side of the world in a matter of a couple of hours. It's like, what were you flying on that you got over that ocean that quickly? Oh my. They shot him up into space and then back down to avoid the jet stream air current or something.
When Chuck Norris jumps, he lands where he wants to.
I know, right? Chuck Norris didn't even have to strap in on the rocket ship. He was just like, pfft. And when he landed right on one of the terrorist bad guys, too.
No. See, you don't strap Chuck Norris to a rocket. You strap the rocket to Chuck Norris.
That's accurate. That is accurate. Bio, do you have something other than I can't decide?
I don't watch bad movies on purpose. I really
I
don't.
didn't say
like, some
watching
people,
them
love
on
to
purpose.
watch them. I'm just like, why? I don't get it. I mean, I've watched bad movies. It's just I didn't go in thinking it was bad.
I know. Oh,
And then it's like, well, not watching that anymore.
I always have a special place in my heart with Jason X.
Oh, I bet you will.
Do you even remember that movie?
I do remember it. It was a good time.
I mean, you were doing. All right.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Well, the reason I had that's a special place because me and two of the Baron and Edge, we did a riff track for the movie, and we did a drinking game, and we picked some decent rules.
I wish they had told me these rules, and I would have warned them that one of them was a very bad idea.
Bad idea. It was one of those, like every time a female actress showed her midriff, we would have to drink. And dear God, I swear it at least had to be 20 times.
And the other two were drinking beer. Killer was drinking
scotch.
Which, again, bad idea.
Yeah.
Do you believe Killer was under the table at one point?
Almost. It was close. It was close. I think now that it's been at least a year and a half, I can tell. I think I stopped drinking near the end. It's like, I can't continue.
No.
I've been there.
Yeah.
People were
You have my sympathies.
People were actively in chat telling Killer that he needed to tap out so he didn't die. So
yeah,
we were concerned about.
No,
that.
actually, I don't think we were in chat. It was a pre-record.
Yeah, that one was recorded.
That was recorded.
Well, then it was me then, because I know I was yelling at you. So
it was good times. Good times. No hangover the next day though. For some reason I don't get hangovers. Thank God. That would have sucked.
Ooh. If you had a theme song that played whenever you walked into a room of people, what would it be? And Bio, you're not allowed to say the John Cena theme song. You have to come up with something creative.
Oh, come on. Do, 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 do.
That would be entertaining, though. And his name is Biomed Alchemist. Do, 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 do.
Wow. That's terrible.
It is terrible. But what would be more terrible is that the doors would open and he wouldn't be there.
You can't see him.
You just get this text message going, you can't see me.
Now I want to do that.
Kind of do now?
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
RivalCon next year. We'll do that. we'll build up. Like when we do the panel discussion, we'll build up and like introduce all the staff as they come in and do like a little song for them, and then you'll be the last one, and there'll be like smoke and flashy lights and stuff, and then the smoke clears and there's nobody standing there, and a little tweet goes out going, "You don't see me." We can make this happen.
That's terrible. Theme song.
There's so many good ones, it's hard to choose.
I know, there are so many. It also kind of depends on the situation, I think.
That's true.
Like, are you coming in guns a-blazing, or, classy and, regal and stuff like noble?
Regal and noble? Have
Yeah.
you met our staff?
Hey, it can happen.
Classy, yes, because we are
Okay.
a classy bunch of people. However,
Classy.
we
You
don't.
said
I
that
mean,
with a straight face? How
with
did you do that?
with the exception of Varyar, who I maintain would love to walk into a staff meeting with like one of those like the ermine capes and the red and everything, and just kind of gazing off into the distance, like yes, my people. The meeting
king
has
has
now come
arrived.
to order, and then I'd be like, I didn't call a meeting to order. Bam!
We're still dodging the question.
Yeah. I'm stalling. I'm stalling hardcore here.
Hold on, I have to look up my music list. Ah, no, I got it. The theme song from Patton. The movie.
Hum it.
Huh?
Hum it.
Oh. How does I play it? How about that?
Wow, that was not part of the
okay.
question. Now you're like
Yeah, you're
twisting
adding
it.
I don't.
Yeah, you're
I don't.
twisting it.
I don't. It's part of the conversation
Really?
because I don't know what.
It's like a masterpiece.
I probably have heard it, but when you just say the theme from
I'll
Patton,
play it on
I
my
don't
phone.
know what that is.
You guys aren't hearing that, are you?
Nope.
Damn it.
Probably
But,
a good thing.
Oh, you dick.
What?
Hmm?
I don't know. I'm lost.
Let's see,
Still-
because YouTube. I'm sure it would flag it for some reason.
Yeah, it's true. Hold on.
All right, we'll look it up later.
No, I found it. Ish. Maybe. Don't know. Still looking. There it is. Found it. There we go. That would be it. Anyway.
I don't even know where my thing is.
Click.
If I open that though, it'll play through my headphones. And
Yeah,
you guys
yeah,
will
it
hear
probably
it,
will.
So I'll wait. Shut up. I'm the one who doesn't know
I'm
what
totally
the song
hearing
is. That's
this, and you can't right now.
You guys are evil.
Such a jamming tune.
It's kind of a slow start, I have to admit. Hmm.
I'm trying to remember what the name of the song is.
What's it from?
It's not from something. It's an actual song. It was from the 40s. It's
You're going classy.
well, I'm a classy chick. What can I say? I can't think of what the name of the song is though. I was just listening to it the other day. There's an instrumental that I heard that was just crap. I'll think of it after we finish and then I'll put it in the description.
Always happens.
Always happens. Bio. You got one yet?
No, I'm not gonna have one. I
Fine,
guarantee
you
it
can
because you
have
took
John
away my
Cena.
option.
For some reason, only theme song that is playing in my head at the moment is the theme for Italian Spider-Man.
Okay, now I have to look that one
Yeah,
up.
we have to look this up here.
The entire Italian Spider-Man?
Yeah. For some reason, don't ask me why.
Okay.
Is it like the regular Spider-Man? I can't listen to any of this yet. Oh, you're just dancing.
Wow.
You're just dancing to make me.
That's hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna have to admit that's kind of cool. You win, sir. You win. Oh.
It works. Well, do we
One
want
more.
one more
more-
question?
I think one more question.
'Cause we are coming up on the hour.
We need to end on a high note. Did
It
it spit
just-
out another?
It just spit out another one. Hang on.
What do you?
Like, it fell off the desk, so I had to reach under and grab it. Ooh, okay, so this is a problem-solving question. Which
Oh,
one
God.
of gaming's problems would you most want to solve? So, thinking about problems that you've encountered with games. Whether, like, game functionality or mechanics or in the gaming industry, what would you most want to solve?
All that DLC.
Mm,
That's a quite easy one.
That's not a, yeah.
I think the one I thought of it's kind of being solved right now, but it's how you'll buy something on Steam and it's just terrible, and now
Yeah.
you can refund it. Before
Yeah.
it was just kind of your loss.
you're screwed. Yeah.
And there's kind of some pushback. There was a studio recently that's trying to sue reviewers that said it was a bad game.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that thing,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, so hopefully
That's
that case will win for the people that reviewed the game.
right.
Because yeah.
And that's I mean, that's more of like it's a societal thing too. Because
Mm,
people are so overly sensitive about things anymore. It's like they just want to sue everyone for anything. It's just ridiculous. So,
yeah. I would say for mine, like, kind of not a game centric thing, but maybe gaming. The financial cost of actually developing a game, like a quality game.
They
Like
are-
to get a triple A game now, it costs like $100 million. Like,
Mhm.
why does it cost this much? Well, yes, we know why it costs that much, but it just seems like that's you limited the field so much. There's only like what, 5, maybe 4 or 5 games for AAA that come out a year. It used to be like 10, 20, 30.
and quite
couldn't keep
honestly,
up.
I mean, get a lot more pleasure out of doing a lot of the smaller independent games because my attention span isn't, as far as games are concerned, my attention span isn't focused enough to actually give a crap about playing a game that's meant to be played for 40 hours. I don't
Mhm.
care.
Yeah.
I mean, I like, like Borderlands, I like that. It is a longer game, but I only like playing the co-op version. You're not going to see me like, oh, it's a Saturday afternoon and, everybody else off doing something. Let's go do that by myself for a while. Not going to happen. Same thing. I like watching you guys play XCOM. I like watching you guys
Yeah.
play, different things, but I'm doing other things. I'm not going to sit down and do that by myself. But if you have something like Cat Lateral Damage, that's not a long game. I mean, you've got, it's just a fun sandbox. You're running around destroying shit for 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes or something. And it's fun. You do it, you put it back down. I mean, you're great. God, what are some other ones? Who's Your Daddy was hysterical. But little things like that. I mean, I like that because again, my attention span is not one that I'm going to be investing a lot of time into whatever it is. And for some people, they do that, and that's cool. I mean, that's what they like to do. But
actually, for a game mechanic, I would love to see fixed is kind of the shooting and cover mechanics in like first-person shooters. Because Call of Duty, every single time you go to an area, enemies behind cover, they pop up, they shoot, you shoot them. You get behind cover. If you get shot and recharge your health, it's just no. It's got to change.
Yep.
Something real world tactics where you do have to use cover, but you get to cover, shoot, cover people moving up. Actual squad-based tactics, not just running. Yeah, but that will never happen. Rather spend $10 million just to hire up what's his face to use his famous. Oh, frack! I forgot his name. He was supposed to be my daddy. What's his name?
He's supposed to be your daddy?
Don't you remember it was
James Spader or Kevin Spacey?
James Spader. Not James Spader, the other one. What was the other one?
Kevin Spacey?
Spacey, thank you. I can't believe I forget my own father's,
your
my
daddy
fictional
and
father's
Your
name.
own surrogate fathers?
Earlier question. A long time ago. Anywho.
I think my problem I would like to fix kind of combines multiple answers here. But it would be, and again, it goes beyond gaming, but getting people to understand and respect levels of where people are at. So, like, for example, understanding that an indie developer isn't going to have the same resources and stuff to do the same level of game as one of the AAA things. But at the same time, so that's from the consumer end. But at the same time, you have developers that, they're independent, they get cranky when people say anything.
Make it legitimate.
You need
It
to
becomes
understand,
an excuse instead of, wait a second.
Take responsibility. If they're saying that they don't like your game because something is broken, that's not that's not bullying. They're making a legitimate criticism, and you need to address that if you want to play with the big boys.
Right.
So it's give and take there, but that would be something that I would want to see change, because again, there's so many really good games out there that they are simplistic, they are but they're at a certain level, and people need to understand that. People from both sides need to understand that, and understand that even though you may have put your heart and soul into this game, that it's fun to play, but people are going to have opinions about it, and you need to take that into account too. So if you want to be a big time developer and you want to act like you're a big time developer, you need to perform at that level. So it's just me.
Well done.
All right. So we are coming up on our hour now. Does anybody have any questions that they want to toss out to the table before we wrap up for the night?
Trying to come up with something.
Yeah,
but
I know. Do you have a basic idea what your next dish will be, sir?
By the way, don't call me sir.
Oh, I'm just
Sounds
being
silly.
respectful. That's how I was raised. Sorry.
Okay.
Does it make
no
you feel
need
old?
for me.
Anyway.
Well, let's see. Next dish. I gave a lot of thought about it, and it might be actually the Arx Fatalis apple pie that I made like how many years ago, or something from Rift, like the sour and hot brisket, I think.
Ooh.
Okay.
I like
Nice.
I think we need to invite him to Porksgiving.
that. I think we do too.
It's a gorgeous thing. All right. Well, be sure to check out Juho's blog at 8bitmenu.com. He puts up things periodically, and just it's a really fun blog just to go through and see like the different dishes from your favorite video games. So it's well worth a look. You can catch us next week. Again, we're kind of recording this a little bit before when it's going to air, so I'm not sure who the guests will be next week, but we will be live probably. but you can always check out our schedule at rivalcastmedia.com, where you can find all of the great stuff on our different shows, our different podcasts, our different writing things. Yeah. So thank you, Juho, for hanging out with us this week.
Indeed.
And
Yes.
from all of us here at RivalCast Media, cheers.
Thank you for letting me be your guest for the night.
Absolutely.